We are finally at the finale of a series titled The Creative Process. So, you know who we are, what we do, how we start, and stay motivated to do what we do, and how and if we reward ourselves for essentially working hard at it. And by we, who am I referring to? Why, it is I, Viddy, and 7 other creative personas who have made some great responses and discussions to the questions seen in the series thus far. The final topic, being about audience reaction, is very fitting because that is what comes at the end. You've made something and put it out there for the world to see. But does it matter what they think? Do you go ahead making something with or without their feedback? And even for me, how much does the audience reaction matter if I try a project such as this, which is not absolutely about gaming, you know, the very word in my YouTube channel name? Well, before we start this video, I want to thank all of you who have commented either during the premieres or afterwards. It has been a great discussion and certainly a great audience reaction, if I do say so myself. Now, let's bring on the long finale. Welcome, one and all, to the final part, episode 4 of A Creative Process.
Oh, the audience completely matters to me. But not in... What do I expect from my audience is maybe a more interesting question. What really... Once I'd come to terms with the fact that the videos I was most passionate about would not be the videos that the general wider community would be passionate about, and the few hits I've had, I said that well, I wouldn't have made the videos if I didn't believe in them, but they've taken off with audiences that go beyond my core group and exposed me to a wide range of people coming in to tell me all sorts of stuff on the internet that I'm just like, whoa, where have you come from? That's interesting, but that's not a reward. What is a good reward is when someone comes in who tells you something that you didn't know and you're excited to hear, or someone comes in and says, oh, that's well done, mate, that's fantastic, or just, I've never thought about things that way, you've opened my eyes to explain things. I probably would have stopped about 8 videos in if someone else who's on YouTube who is still watching my channel, not regularly, but I see their comments. You know, several years later, they still have commented recently in the last 3 months on something I produced. 8 videos in, they'd commented on about 2 of my videos saying, this is really good, I want to see more of this content. And I was just like, yeah, and I looked that person up and I'd never heard of them before. I saw what they were making. I was like, oh. And I said, it feels like a conversation. They're putting out cool videos on topics that I find interesting. Some of the stuff they put out are like, oh, this is a new discovery. These are things I'm not aware of. Some of it's stuff I am deeply passionate and already know about, but it's just cool to hear someone else talk about it with as much passion as I could myself. So that's audience reaction. That's other creators. But that's not to say if you don't make YouTube videos, I don't care about your comment. I'm just saying it was another creator who I did not know when I started making the videos, who commented on one of my videos and said, this, you're onto something here, keep going, that made me keep going. And if he hadn't done that, I don't think I would have. I think I would have given out somewhere between 10 or 15 videos in. And instead, I'm at well over 100. And that person, they don't watch every video. If they do, they don't comment on every video. I'm calling you out here. But I know they've watched at least one of mine in the last 3 months, and it just fills me with joy when you see these names that you recognize. And it's a small community, it's a niche community. And I don't think it's a community that anyone outside would recognize. But I like that. I like that sentiment. I also like when new people stumble into this. People come and go. It's not constant, and they're not your friends. You know, I don't know these people. I know a name on the screen. But there's still a warm tingle of familiarity there. So audience reaction matters. If it was just howling into the void, I would have given up a long time ago.
Hepso Games does mention that putting content out there for people to engage or interact with is the point. However, you shouldn't obsess over the numbers of this engagement, no matter if it's 3 or 30 people watching. The ending sentence says it all. Never obsess about numbers, as then you are creating for all the wrong reasons you will lose the passion for the hobby fast. Making content as such could be considered a job if you have to worry about the viewed numbers or even revenue, but this can be a hobby first and foremost.
So audience reaction is probably one of the biggest things for me. So I know when people create content, it should be all about like, you do it because you want to do it and all that, but for me, I do really focus on what people think of the content, regarding how many views it's got, how many likes, but mainly around the comments. You know, I get so many nice comments from my friends who watch the videos, who I really appreciate the support in that. And I also get some nice comments from people, there's complete strangers. And I think those are the ones that impact me the most, that I know that I've helped someone who's completely unknown to me or anything like that. Because that's the beauty of like doing content creating and the internet and stuff, that you can talk to people from all around the world, and something you could do may solve a problem for them, or it opens up a discussion and they feel confident enough to share it and stuff like that. So that side of things, yeah, definitely, it's really important to me, and it helps drive me to make more things, knowing that people will watch it and then get enjoyment from it. Like I say, it's great if you want to make it for yourself and that's your passion. Definitely, I kind of wish I had that in a way, but for me, it is really important to get the reaction, a positive reaction from people and stuff. If I get negative, I don't get upset. I understand where people are coming from, so I kind of just try and learn from it, what can be improved and stuff like that, because I love feedback. I love knowing what could be done better so that I can make better content for people.
For audience retention, I say it somewhat matters. When I release a video and it doesn't get a lot of views, it is honestly disheartening. I often wonder why more of my subscribers didn't click on the video, why aren't more people discovering my videos? And then with my revenue share, audience retention does affect ad revenue. But here's the key thing. Audience retention is not the most important thing, nor should it be. I make the kinds of videos I want to watch, videos that are true to myself. That's what you should be doing. If you worry too much about what the audience wants, or more so what you think the audience wants, you're going to try too hard to appeal to the masses. That's how you end up betraying the real you. I know the kind of tricks that all these big name YouTubers use to get those clicks. Sure, I could be doing all that too, but it wouldn't feel true to myself. And your viewers can tell when you're being disingenuous. That ends up lowering the quality of the video. It happens with movies when studio executives force changes that they think will appeal to a wider audience. So at the end of the day, as long as you're not spreading hate speech or doing something that actually hurts someone, make what you want to make the way you want to make it. Learn how to make things better over time, of course, but as long as you don't betray who you are just to make everyone else happy.
The Fun Bros makes similar points about stressing about the numbers, or analytics to term it differently. It is a good idea, however, to put goals such as life or maybe writing first, so that there may be less stress or discouragement at the end of the day, or just for the sake of variety so you're not doing videos or streams a lot. Or wondering how to keep track of other social media platforms, especially in regards to discourse about the nature of a platform of Twitter. I also relate to the feeling of working hard on a video only to have little to no interaction with it. I want someone to like this, or maybe even ask a question about it to start a discussion. Pretty please. But at the same time, I only have so much time to check for videos and streams on my subfeed to notifications. And it's not even because of the streaming platforms like Netflix and such. I found myself watching those somewhat less over time, but it, quote, means a lot if someone takes the time to even drop in. In the first episode of A Creative Process, the Ernest book, Miller, and Kurosawa were cited as inspirations by the Fun Bros, just to make stuff even if the numbers aren't big. The same applies to this collaborative project, which we'll hopefully look back on fondly, cliches or no.
The last question is, how much does the audience reaction matter to you, if at all? And my answer to this is, and I apologize for my phone going off just there, my answer to this is, it does matter, but not that much. And let me explain before anyone decides to take a pitchfork to me. I want my audience to enjoy and be happy with the things that I put out there. I want there to be no divisiveness and for them to feel like they can share their opinions openly. And I want them to have a sense of relaxation and catharsis and again, general happiness when they come to my channel. So that matters to me. I also don't want them to feel offended or like I'm intentionally offending them. It doesn't mean that people aren't going to get offended at things, and that's going to happen, but I don't want that to be the primary focus. I don't want anyone to leave my channel saying, oh, he's very vindictive or very pointed or any of this, because that's never the intention. But so long as I can convey those 2 points, that my intention is that you leave and be happy and laugh and be open with your opinion, and that it's never something intentionally offensive, vindictive, pointed, or otherwise negative, then after that it doesn't really make a difference, right? If you didn't enjoy it, that's good. You please let me know. If you did enjoy it, that's great. Please let me know. But I'm still going to keep making things that I'm interested in, because if I start making things that the audience is interested in that I'm not, then I will make myself miserable. If everybody says, well, I want to watch an Overwatch 2 Game Lord here, then my answer to that is I'm not an Overwatch 2 Game Lord. If I'm playing that same game that I'm not familiar with, I become familiar with it, it becomes work, and it's no longer fun, and it's no longer my creative process, and it's no longer mine. It's no longer not just creative, but it's no longer mine. It has to be something that I really am going to enjoy and that I like to do. And if the audience doesn't like that, I can shift a gear. If it's something that's really bothering them, I can shift a gear to segue into something that I do enjoy without bending to a specific whim of the general audience and making it where it's not fun for me to create anymore. And then if you're asking what the audience reaction is in terms of view counts or subscriber counts, I don't care at all. It doesn't matter to me how big that number or small that number is. I'd be lying if I said I didn't take a peek at it and see how it was just to see if people enjoy it. But at the end of the day, I don't look at it and see a video that I've put out that has 15 views and say, oh, well, that was a failure. I just look at it and say, okay, well, that one was something that they were less interested in, and then I still enjoy it, and I will still go back and I'll reference and watch that video as if everybody in the world watched it, and if they like it and they want to go watch it, then great. And if they don't, that's fine. I've created something, I've put it out there, and you never know with time, you never know what will happen. It may be that one video that got 15 views on its initial, launch week that 3 years later becomes the viral sensation. So I don't really put a lot of stock in that. Subscribers, I like the fact that there are people out there that are willing to come out and say, I'm subscribed to you. I have 141 at this point, or at the point of this recording, and I'm incredibly grateful for every single one of them, because that tells me that there are at least 100 people out there that want to come and see my stuff or get notified when I do stuff or hang out during one of my streams, and that's great. But the number itself doesn't matter, because the people that are there should never become just a number. That number is a gauge and a metric, but it's not indicative of the type of people that you can expect to see in your creative process, or the people that you're going to see on the everyday or hear on every stream. It's not really indicative of that. And so I appreciate the number, but I really appreciate the people. And I have a phenomenal community, or that I'm being allowed to be a part of. They're not even the Retro Room community. People like Omega Ace Gaming and Yugoslav, or formerly Yugoslav, and you, Viddy, of course, Thumb and Ash, and just a ton of great people that come into the streams and talk and chat and enjoy the videos. And those people, like yourself, are what make this worthwhile. So I didn't talk with 141 subscribers when my last stream went up. I talked with a few of my friends that came in and talked with it. I talked with a couple of people that became my friends. Eventually that number will become so high for someone that they can't even keep up with all of the friends. So what does it matter? So the idea is, instead of gauging that metric, enjoy it while it's small, enjoy it while it's growing, and enjoy those people as they come in, 1 or 2 or however many, and the ones that want to interact with you especially so. But that's really what it matters to me. If that's what you're talking about, audience reaction, I have to do what's fun to me, and I have to do what's good by me. But obviously, I love the people that I've had the opportunity to meet and become friends with. I hope that this answers the question. I don't know if it does. I know some of it is just that I'm self-motivated, some of it's unorthodox, and I don't think when it comes to content creation or art generation or whatever it might be that you're interested in, I don't think there's any secret lock and key. I don't think there's any secret trick to it. I think that the only thing that you have to know that you have, there's no shortcut, is just that you enjoy what it is that you're doing, what you're putting out there. You have conviction that what you're putting out there is something that you enjoy. If you're a Mario Kart streamer, then you play Mario Kart. That's what you enjoy. That's what you're good at. If you're a Banjo-Kazooie guy, then you at least get to play Banjo-Kazooie in front of other people. I think that's kind of really where I come from. I've finished Banjo-Kazooie and I finished KOTOR, some of my absolute favorite games on the stream. Some of the videos have been somewhat successful, some of them haven't. And the fact is, I got to play 2 of my favorite games on stream while talking to friends and people. And that's enough for me. That was something that I'm happy about. Maybe in the future, one of those videos will blow up and go big and somebody will enjoy it. But until then, it still doesn't really make that difference. I got to play 2 games I really loved, and that's what matters. So I hope this answers the question and helps. I know it was a little long-winded, but I do have some really deep feelings and thoughts about this, and, well, these are them.
With Tiger Chainsaw talking about a show gaining little views after putting effort into it, again, we're going back to the episodic series, The Tiger Chainsaw Show. It is a shame that the views got low, which means the series is gone. Though it may come back, pretty please. Hey, I said that. Even the fact that I, and of course others like it, is surely a reassuring feeling. I myself would also be, quote, lying if I said I'm happy with my current viewership, end quote, I don't make big numbers my goal. And just try to make content the best I can. Still, goals, complete with audience reactions, is probably a motivator for the creative process. We've got to finish this video soon, well, this collaborative series shortly, and hope it got at least some engagement. And so, for my final response in this whole series, the final question about audience reactions and if they matter can mean different things for different people. I noticed that every like or comment or view number or gained follower/subscriber can really be a dopamine boost, as if your content or social media post has actually been noticed. I try not to look at numbers too much. Sure, I got surprised as to how my video about my memories of Zelda Breath of the Wild, followed by my hyper concerns for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, got a decent amount of views per my small viewership, or the algorithm, in contrast to, say, my 2 videos about the Resident Evil 4 remake. It is possible that topic was being oversaturated, as in, why should I watch this video about the Resident Evil 4 remake by this random person named Viddy? But there are 2 important things to factor in when making content that is either unique or perhaps oversaturated. That is, authenticity and feedback. As the Nintendo review and others comment on, it is better to be true to yourself and make what is fun or works for you. Sometimes it can be too easy to put on a persona and then have to act like that, but that's another topic. If you, say, show how much you like Zelda, or Resident Evil, or Star Wars, or Mario Kart, or even certain films, music, books, and so on, the audience will eventually come and maybe share how much they like it as well. That is part of the second factor, feedback. Feedback is helpful. Sometimes, maybe more often, you get words that, if anything, are just mean-spirited. But if you get constructive words about the production values, the pacing, the humor, and maybe the repetitive or off-tangent topic patterns, then it surely is better to really take this feedback on board while still being authentic, balanced, and looking after yourself. And maybe looking after yourself may as well consist of rewarding yourself with something, as talked about in the previous episode. So overall, the numbers don't matter to me, at least. It is who comes into the comments and live chats and talk positively and constructively about the content and ideas. The community, I and others have grown, and not just me and the other people in the series, are seriously great. Great to the point of playing Mario Kart together, or marathoning Zelda, or engaging in discussion topics, such as the creative process. That's a topic. We can talk all day about whether we make something purely for ourselves, maybe as fun, or we want to make something we like and really hope it can get a positive reaction out of someone. That ties into the previous episode discussions, such as the process being its own reward, or maybe even being motivated to make something just for you, right there, watching. And thus, the Creative Process series ends. Speaking of audience reaction, why not talk about how much and if audience reactions matter to you? Whether you collaborate or not, the discussion about that and maybe even the series as a whole is open in the comments section below. Or alternatively, and this is mainly for those of you who took an interest but didn't have time or something, or are, say, in the midst of starting a new channel, you can still message your answers to me and I'll feature them in a more simple, extra video. I, Viddy, and these 7 other creative personas bid you farewell. In fact, here's a little more.
Anyway, that's me, so thank you very much, Viddy, for letting me jump onto this project of yours. I think it's really cool to have this open discussion about, motivation and stuff and why create content, because me personally, I feel like I've been going through a bit of a slump period with my content creating. I'm trying to get out of that slump. So, no, it's great that you've been having this conversation and, getting others to talk about it as well. So, thank you for letting me be part of it. Bye-bye.
Viddy, as usual, you stay amazing, and I hope to hear from you soon, bud.
Thank you to everyone who featured in this series. Thank you to everyone who discussed this series. And thank you to everyone who watched. Have a good day or night or whatever it is, and I'll see you sometime soon, I should think. Will the audience react to whether I make a video really soon or weeks ahead in the future? Oh, we're off tangent there. Bye. Thanks for watching. And finally, now get out there and be creative!